The All Blacks have a golden opportunity this weekend to develop their next generation of players while also growing the spine of their team. And it's going to be against Fiji, who have grown enormously in recent years. Let's get to my team to take on the Fijians in San Diego. So the theme that you'll probably notice here is that I have some key players making up the spine of the team, and I'm surrounding them with youth. So we're going to actually put Ethan de Groot, the scrum stalwart, in there at number 1. The reason for that is we cannot get too cute against these Fijians. If you look at the Fijian Drua scrum, it was probably the best in Super Rugby. In fact, Squidge Rugby did a great video showing that the Fijian Drua scrum was maybe the best in the world. So we can't take them for granted, and if this game is going to open up, we're going to need to dominate them up front. That's why I've got Ethan de Groot in there. I am going to go with Tamaiti Williams on the other side of the scrum. I think the big boy needs a run. I think he is going to possibly be the starting prop by the time we get to 2027. Tyrell Lomax might have something to say about that, but we need to keep growing Tamaiti. This is a perfect opportunity for him. And smack bang in the middle is going to be Asafo Aumua. He has earned a starting spot with his terrific injections of energy off the bench, but not just energy, accurate line-out throwing. Good decisions with the ball in hand. This kid has grown his game. It's also going to give us a chance to see if Cody Taylor is just having a bit of a form slump or if there are problems elsewhere with the malfunctioning New Zealand line-out. With that in mind, I do want him throwing to familiar targets. So we're going to have Scott Barrett, obviously captaining the team. He's going to be joined by Tupou Vai. And that means I have found a place on the bench for Sam Darry, who has been called into the squad. Thank goodness Patrick Tuipulotu is being given a rest. He is staying behind in New Zealand, didn't make the trip over to the United States. That kind of confirms what all of us knew, that he's been playing on adrenaline and pure guts the last few weeks. I don't think his leg is 100%, and that's being euphemistic. So they need to wrap him in a little bit of cotton wool, do some rehab if Patrick Tuipulotu is going to feature in the Rugby Championship, and we definitely need him against Argentina and South Africa in those lineouts, let me tell you. So I'm liking the look of this locking combination here. I am going to roll the dice a little bit in my Lucy's. I think it is time. Now look, Samipeni Finau, he had mixed tests against England. I think we need to keep growing him. He's 6'5". He has an amazing physical presence. Yes, he hasn't quite translated that form to the international arena, but I received an excellent comment on my YouTube channel this week just reminding me that, hey, Jerome Kaino didn't exactly set the world on fire in his first few tests. We need to give this guy time to grow. I think Samipeni Finau has had a big-time couple of weeks starting against England, and he could benefit with a breather just to let the lesson sink in. So I am going to put Ethan Blackadder in there. We are going to need depth through the Rugby Championship. He is the next cab off the rank. Let's get him back into the All Blacks environment, see what he has to offer. I think we go back to starting Samipeni, but Blackadder could be crucial coming off the bench later this year. So he needs some minutes in the black jersey. Let's play Luke Jacobson at 7. Yes, it's tempting to shift Ardie Savea there, but he's the world's #1 player at number 8. We're on to a good thing here. Dalton Papali'i has been doing well at 7. I'm not sure we need to tinker just yet with the loose forward makeup. Again, Jacobson needs a good trot if he is going to be able to make an impact off the bench, which is where I see him shining the rest of this year. But he's got to get some full games under his belt. Hell, I'd probably play him for the full 80 if possible. And now, the most exciting pick on the team, Wallace Sititi is going to start at number 8 in my team. This is going to be the American dream come true for Wallace, starting in the unusual environment of San Diego, California. Don't think there's ever been an All Black test match there before. I think we need to see this kid play. He has huge upside with his raw-boned athleticism and ball-carrying skills. Let's start fast-tracking him. Moving on to the backs, let's give Cortez Ratama a chance. He made a great fist of his opportunity last week coming off the bench at Eden Park. It wasn't just that he sniped around the rucks well, it was that his box kicking was on point. Let's task him with bringing continued focus and accuracy to this game, which has the potential to be a banana peel and get very messy. Let's ask him to control the game from 9. And let's put D-Mac back in the saddle. Rome wasn't built in a day. It took Richie Mo'unga probably 40 or 50 tests before he became a bona fide All Black legend. I really think that Richie Mo'unga was peaking last year in 2023, particularly in the Rugby World Cup final. Think about how much experience he had in the black jersey by that point. Damian McKenzie is growing. There are promising signs. He looked controlled and poised often, particularly when he had Beauden Barrett backing him up on the weekend. We'll get to that in a second. But if he's going to get some of the rough edges out of his game, we got to keep playing him. So I'm putting Damian McKenzie back at 10. But it's a new look midfield for me. We're going to go with Anton Linnett-Brown and the exciting Billy Proctor. Here's why. Rieko Ioane and Jordie Barrett are a proven midfield combination. And Jordie Barrett took many thunderous hits in the last 2 games against England. We know what we're going to get with him. He is an A-plus player. Let's give him a week off. Let him recharge for the Rugby Championship. But we're not just throwing Billy Proctor to the Wolves here. We're giving him a seasoned operator in ALB inside him. I think that's a really potentially exciting combination. So I'm hoping that the All Black selectors will watch this video and obviously make their plans based on what I have to say. For my wings, let's try something new. Caleb Clarke, high ball merchant, power winger. Let's unleash him and see how he goes. And look, Emoni Narawa, give him a shot. If you picked him, you should play him. Now is the time to see how this alternate wing duo will do. For me, Mark Telea's spot is nailed in for the Rugby Championship. Question mark over Sevu Reece. Could one of these boys replace him? Well, we're not going to know unless we play them. Now, Beauden Barrett is going to start at 15. If anyone has ever earned a starting spot off the back of 2 sparkling bench cameos, it's got to be Beauden Barrett. The last couple of weeks, he saved the All Blacks on 2 occasions. So let's get him in there from the beginning. I do tend to think that his role as an impact player is going to continue through the Rugby Championship, particularly when Will Jordan comes back in at 15. But again, Beauden Barrett, he is not short on athleticism or fitness. I mean, as a 33-year-old, he looks phenomenal. And I believe he can play to the next World Cup, by the way. However, we do need to get some more minutes into him just to keep everything ticking along nicely. Let's give him a solid hour at the back for the All Blacks. Have him support D-Mac. Yeah, I think that's a good-looking team because we're not taking the Fijians lightly here. You've got some real solidity and experience at scrum time. You do have some experience in the midfield. And you do have the wiliest operator of all at 15. But let's take a look at the bench. I think it's time to give Pasilio Tosi a chance. I'd also love to see Fletcher Newell get some minutes. I understand these guys are specialist tight head props. Now listen, I was a winger, all right? So I don't pretend to be an expert on scrums, but I do know the difference between a loose head prop and a tight head prop. But I think one of these boys is going to have to be a bit of a Greg Somerville. I think Fletcher Newell could be the guy who could play both sides of the scrum for the All Blacks at a pinch. So he might have to shift over a slot if need be. I think he can do it. George Bell, rookie hooker. I haven't seen enough from him to know that he is the future for the All Blacks, but they picked him for a reason. And if you picked him, you should play him. It's now or never. Let's have him in there backing up Asafa Wamua. Could be a nice little 1-2 punch at hooker. Sam Darry has to be in there as the only other fit and available lock. And we need to develop more locks. Josh Lord isn't ready yet. We need a bit of depth there. Bring him on. Ardie Savea is the ultimate insurance policy. If things start to go pear-shaped, let's bring him on. I think he is a guy who can really steady the ship, not just because he's World Player of the Year, but he's also a former All Black captain. So I think having him assessing what's going on the bench and unleashing him in the second half could really help the All Blacks if we get into a sticky situation against Fiji. Finlay Christie is going to bring some experience off the bench. He's going to back up Cortez Ratama. I know that Noah Hotham is in the team. But again, let's not get too cute. These Fijian boys are good. They have come a long way. We cannot take them lightly. So a well-experienced halfback is going to be on the bench for me. Similarly, Rieko Ioane, he's going to cover wing and midfield. So he covers a lot of options there. And let's keep growing Stephen Perofeta. He could come into 10. He could come into 15. Let's see how the game grows. But Perofeta, it looks like he's going to be part of the setup for a little while to come. Someone's going to have to disappear from the back 3. I suspect it could be Emoni Narawa. I might be wrong there. Let's see how he plays on the weekend if he gets selected. But Perofeta needs to keep getting minutes if he is going to develop in this World Cup cycle and become a world-class fullback. What do you think? Is it a good balance of youth and experience, or have I made a couple of blunders here? Let me know. I read all your comments. In fact, I love interacting with them. I really appreciate the time you take to watch my videos and respond. So let me know your thoughts. And I will be back on the weekend to break down this game between New Zealand and Fiji in the country that I live in, the United States of America. Not often the All Blacks are in my country, so I am super pumped. Let's go, boys. I'll catch you real soon. Take it easy. Bye for now. Whoosh.